YouTube, how's it going? Welcome back to Paul's Wrath. My name is JD, and today we're continuing with our playthrough of Pokémon Crystal in order of the Pokédex. We played through the very challenging Pokémon last week, Shuckle. Bug, Rock Pokémon. Had a lot of things not going for it, actually. It has a really great defense, and that's really where all of its benefits come from. It does have a decent move pool. That's why I say it's not quite a gimmick Pokémon. It did take a while to play through. Finding those strategies and executing those strategies is a fun part of those playthroughs. As long as I skew my expectations, any Pokemon can be fun if you know what you're anticipating, what you're expecting. Today we're going to play through the Pokemon I anticipate to be very good, and that Pokemon is Heracross. Heracross comes in with some really good stats: 80 HP, attack is 125, defense is 75, special attack is 40, special defense is 95, and speed is 80. This is a bug-flying Pokemon, and it's also known as a single-horn Pokemon. I don't know what that means. Let's go ahead and dive into this playthrough. We'll watch our first battle against our rival. His name is Triple Question Mark, as per tradition, and we gave him a Cyndaquil. Cyndaquil is a fire type, where a bug type makes sense, and we named our Pokemon Hercules, because Heracross is actually supposed to be a playoff of Hercules. So let's go and watch this battle. We're going to go for Tackle. Go for Tackle 4 times. He's going to go for Leer. Doesn't really help him out very much. We outpace him very easily. Get a super easy win over our rival. And we're going to progress on and do some training here. And I can't maneuver right there. That's a really funny training or maneuvering there. But the first thing I want to talk about is this Pokemon's type effect in this chart. And the first thing is we are weak to 3 things in this game. We're actually weak to 4 things technically overall, but we don't have Fairy type in this generation. We are weak to Flying 4 times weak, which is great because that's our first gym, so that's awesome. Fire type, we're 2 times weak, and Psychic type, we're 2 times weak as well. I don't get that because we are Bug type, so we should be like neutral to that, but it is what it is. And then we are resisted to Fighting, Ground, Bug, Grass, and Dark type. So that's our type effect in this chart. And we are in the slow level up rate. We don't get a lot of these, but whenever we do, it's usually a hindrance because it takes longer to get every level, and we just usually don't pace with the game very well. But with this Pokemon, it didn't seem to be a problem when I was playing through. So the slow level up rate is a factor, but I don't think it's a big factor with this Pokemon. We're not really fighting to get moves. We're not really pushing to get certain moves at certain points. We get a lot of things that help this Pokemon progress pretty well. It snowballs, and we don't have that big of an issue with this Pokemon. Now, the real thing I want to talk about with this Pokemon is you can't see it right now. We chose Hidden Power Rock. Hidden Power Rock solves a lot of problems with this Pokemon. I just showed you the type effect in this chart. We're 4 times weak to Flying Pokemon. And I watched another YouTuber and watched them, and they chose Hidden Power Ground. And I actually have a playthrough I did with Hidden Power Ground, which wasn't what I anticipated. I didn't expect that to be the Hidden Power. So I tried it out, and it didn't work out very well. And you got to think about it this way. There's a literally Elite Four member in here where we say the liar with the flyers. So you think you have to have something to counter that, considering we're Bug type and we're 4 times weak to Flying move. So we have to find a way to counter that. But let's go ahead and watch this first gym battle against Faulkner. He's going to lead out with a Pidgey. Now, Pidgey does not have any flying moves, so we one-shot the Pidgey, and Pidgeotto comes out, and we're at level 12. We're not exactly as high level as I'd hoped to be, but level 12. We get a 2-shot over Faulkner. Now, he did do a lot of damage with his Gust. That could have been bad, but we're going to beat him, and we're going to progress right on. We're actually going to jump ahead to Bugsy's gym. We're going to show a lot of the battles in Bugsy's gym, and as you see this Pokemon, we're level 17. Like I said, leveling up's not a problem in Generation 2. Generation 2, just by the design of the game, you accidentally overlevel just because of the way it is. And then you accidentally overlevel, and then you have some issues where you're not leveling enough because the levels of the oppositions don't skew very well in this game, but it is what it is. Heracross is a very solid Pokemon. Now you're looking at our move pool here. We have all normal type moves. That's going to be a problem for the next battle, which is against our rival. But you'll see we do get a very easy solution to this. It's a move I'm only going to use one time, and it's in one battle. But we beat this Beedrill here, one hit, very good. And now we're going to take on Bugsy. He's a bug specialist. He really only has one good Pokemon. The other 2 are kind of just setup Pokemon, and that is Metapod, Kakuna, and Scyther. And he leads out with a Metapod. Metapod is going to be a 2-shot. Yep, it's going to be a 2-shot. Kakuna comes out. It's going to be a 2-shot as well. Oh, Kakuna is a 1-shot. Very good. And then Scyther comes out. Now we're going to hit this thing hard, and it's not going to do a lot of damage to us. We had 2 hit the Scyther. It does 1 damage to us. We are not going to learn Fury Attack. It's not a great move. It's actually kind of garbage. We're about to get some really good moves for this Pokemon in the next area of the game. But first, we got to take on our second rival. Now, we added Fury Cutter because that's literally the only move at this point in the game we can have that can hit Ghosts. In our optimized playthrough, we still don't even have a solution for that. I was hoping, Seismitoss could solve this problem, but Seismitoss in Generation 2 can't hit Ghost Pokemon. So we're going to 2-hit the Q-Lava. Gastly comes back out. We're going to go for Fury Cutter. He's going to paralyze us. That's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world because we have decent defense, and he really doesn't have anything that can do a lot of damage to us. So we're going to go ahead and keep going for Fury Cutter. Hopefully we can get a couple of them to, kind of roll into each other. Fury Cutter, if you don't know, if you do Fury Cutter in succession, it actually doubles the output every turn you keep adding it together. So we do beat our rival, and we're going to move right on to the forest here, and we're going to add a really good move for this Pokemon. We have very high attack stat. If you didn't see that in the beginning, 125 base attack. So right now at this point in the game, we're only level 19 and our attack is 67, and we're going to add a really good move that's going to help us out, and that's Headbutt. Headbutt is a normal type move, and we're going to move right into Whitney's gym. We're not going to face a lot of the trainers in here. We don't need to. We could if we wanted to and just, keep over leveling, but we only need to face one trainer, and that's this one right here. He's going to come out with or she's going to come out, I should say, with a Snubble. Snubble will go down to one Headbutt. Oh no, it's two Headbutts, but it does flinch. We do have good speed with this Pokemon. It wasn't like last week with Shuckle. Shuckle had 5 speed, so we weren't able to outspeed really anything except for late in the game. So Headbutt wasn't as effective, but with this Pokemon, very effective. We're going to 2-hit the Clefairy. We get double slapped a little bit by the Clefairy. We're going to Headbutt the Miltank. It's going to be a 3-shot. Looks like there's going to be a 2-shot there. Maybe I got a little bit of a range on that first one. But we do get the knockout over Whitney. I'm going to compress right on. We got to face this little tree thing. It's called Sudowoodo. Sudowoodo, it can be a tough Pokemon for this because we don't have a great move for Sudowoodo. So it's going to come out, and we're going to go for Headbutt. Now, what we hope here is we just, it's got Rock Throw, and we're weak to rock moves. Or it's going to do decent damage to us. But we're going to go ahead and get the knockout. We were hoping for flinches, which we got a couple of them. So we beat Sudowoodo and progress right on to the Lake of Rage, where I'm going to go ahead and showcase some things I've never showcased before, like picking up some items like the full store. You can go ahead and watch that, and I'll talk a little bit. So right now, we're going to pick up Hidden Power. Hidden Power Rock is what we went with because it does solve a lot of long-term problems with this Pokemon, whereas Hidden Power Ground solves some short-term problems. Hidden Power Ground makes it so you have an immediate one-shot on anything in Morty's gym, and it also makes it so you have a very good move to contend with Jasmine. So we had to solve that problem. How are we going to get around that? Well, Hidden Power Rock does pretty well against Morty, and Hidden Power Rock isn't going to do very well against Jasmine, but we do have another move that we're going to have. We're going to get that very soon. You're going to see that here via level up. We're going to go ahead and grab Hidden Power. Like I said, Hidden Power Rock is a solution. You could have chose a couple other things. Hidden Power Fire might have been pretty good against Jasmine, but doesn't solve long-term problems. Hidden Power Ice obviously has some utility against like Lance's Dragon Pokemon. So that's the thing. But we have very low special attacks, so I don't think that's a great idea. Right now we're facing Komodo Girls. This is a part in every video where I like to ask everyone, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. And heck, if you share it as well, that's helpful. Liking gets out to more people, gets the algorithm going. Really appreciate it when you do that. If you comment, I comment back to every comment. So if you comment, I'll engage in a dialogue with you, ask some questions. Say, hey, why did you do this, not this? I'll explain why. I'll explain my methodology. If you have a question about what move I should do, a question about the optimized playthrough, if you have an idea for a what if, I'd gladly do that as well. So just let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And then obviously if you subscribe, it tells me and YouTube that you want to come back and watch my videos. We're going to go ahead and return on this Jolteon. And now we're going to progress right on to the next part, which is facing our third rival battle of the game. Our rival's going to come out. I think it's going to come out with a Golbat or a Haunter. I don't remember which one. That's Haunter. Okay. So Haunter comes out, and we're going to go for Hidden Power Rock. Still does pretty good. This is why Hidden Power Rock isn't a bad thing, because it's still going to one-shot a lot of things. Going to one-shot the Q-Lava. Now, Hidden Power Ground would have been very effective against the Magnemite here, but eventually we'll get a move that'll be effective and useful against Magnemite. Now, I had to go back and correct this here, but I actually skipped over a move right there that we're going to use, and that move is Counter. Counter is the move we're going to use to, effectively beat Jasmine. It's a very effective move, and we'll go over that a little bit later. But I had to go back to a safe state and do that. I didn't count that as a reset. That's just my stupidity. It's not the Pokemon not winning in battle. So we're facing Morty. Gas is a one-shot with Hidden Power Rock. Haunter's a one-shot with Hidden Power Rock. Now, Gengar is not going to be, however, it just goes for mean looks, so we get the knockout over Gengar. And if we knock out the first Haunter, odds are we're going to knock out the second one. Very good. It goes off for physical attack stat, so even though it's not a stab move or a move that's super effective against the opposition, it still does a lot of damage. And that leads us right into Chucky Boy's gym. Now, Chucky Boy's gym, we are also fighting types, so we're actually resistant to a lot of fighting moves. So we actually do really well in here. And we got rid of, we didn't get rid of Headbutt, I'm sorry. We got rid of, I think, Tackle and added Return. Return with this Pokemon being the fact that we've beaten Whitney's gym, we're holding the pink bow, and Return itself is a 102 when it comes to having a fully maxed out friendship. This move is 126 effective power, which coincides very well with our very high attack stat. Our attack stat right now at level 31 is 117. So we have a very high attack stat. We're going to one-shot a lot of things in this gym. We one-shot the Mankey here, one-shot the second Mankey, we one-shot the Prime. This is actually a pretty good gauge to see how we're going to do against Chucky Boy's Primeape. So we knock out that Primeape and we're going to move right on face old Chucky Boy. I just like to call him Chucky Boy because he's kind of a weird gym leader. sitting there all shirtless and stuff. But Primeape comes out, and Return is a one-shot, like I thought. Very good. Poliwrath comes out. Poliwrath is a little bit more bulky, so we just got to tank a Surf. He didn't go for, Hypnosis or Dynamic Punch. I think would have been a lot better for him to choose, but he didn't go for that, so we're taking a very easy win over old Chucky Boy. That's going to progress us right on to Lake of Rage. We're going to go ahead and take out the hulked out Gyarados, and he's going to go, he's a flying type actually, but he has no flying moves. I don't think he gets any flying moves like Generation 3. And we'll go for Return. That's a good knockout, very good. And we're going to go talk to this guy right there staring at the sign, but we're not going to showcase that. We don't showcase any of the rocket stuff. I don't like the rocket stuff in this game. I don't know if I've ever said that on here or not, but the rocket stuff in this game is quite boring. And we're going to go ahead and take on Price. Price comes out with a Seal. Seal will be a one-shot, very good. And then Dugong Gong comes out, and Hidden Power Rock is actually very effective against Dugong Gong because it's weak to it. It's Ice type. And we're going to go for Power Swan. We're going to get 2 returns. Actually, well, we're going to do it again. And it's going to be a 2-shot with Return. Knocks out Swan. We beat Price. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. And now we're going to take on Jasmine. Now, Jasmine is a problem because Jasmine is Steel type. We don't have great moves for her. However, I thought cleverly, like there's a way around this. So we're going to go for Return on the Magnemite. We do have the Pink Bow equipped, which is my mistake. I should have switched it out for Paralyzed Cure Berry. It is what it is. We're going to take a quick reset here. But Counter does work. If you see right there, Counter, what it does, it goes second. And if you do a physical move to Heracross, it'll double back the damage that you do, which is good, which is exactly what we need. We don't need this move for anything else other than this battle. So we've equipped the Paralyzed Cure Berry, and when you know it, it works. And then we're going to go for Headbutt, knock out the Magnemite. And we went from a Headbutt because we thought maybe we can get a flinch there. But we're going to go for Counter. And if Iron Tail hits, we're going to hit back. And Iron Tail hits again, and we're going to hit back, knock it out very easy. Next Magnemite's up. Even if it paralyzes us, I don't care, because we're not going to have a lot of problems knocking it out. And missed its Thunder Wave, very good. We beat Jasmine on our second attempt. We got our first reset against her, but that was expected. I had no problem with that at all, because if I would have equipped the Paralyzed Cure Berry, we'd have been just fine. But now we're going to save, and now we're going to face our 4th rival battle of the game. This one, I believe he comes out with a Golbat. There we go, yeah. So Golbat's going to get hit by Hidden Power Rock. It's a one-shot, very good. We level up. And now we're going to face Lava. Same thing, Hidden Power Rock or Return. Either one's going to do the same job. Very good. And then we're going to come out with Haunter. We only have one move that can hit Haunter, which is Hidden Power Rock. So go ahead and go for that. It's a one-shot. And then the next 2 Pokemon should go down to Hidden Power Rock as well. And it's possible Magnemite would go for Return. Yeah, we go for Return. Even though we get paralyzed, not a big deal. As long as we hit one more time, we're good. We beat our 4th rival pretty easy. Now, this is part of our Claire rival sandwich. So now we're going to take on Claire, our 8th gym leader. And she's got Dragon Pokemon, and she's going to lead out with a Dragonair. Now, we are in a good spot here because Return does one-shot the Dragonair. Very good. 1 down, 2 down. She's going to bring out Kingdra. She's going to bring out Dragonair. We're not going to learn Reversal. Reversal's not actually, we're going to learn it. Actually, we are going to learn it for a couple seconds. But I don't think I actually use this long-term. I'm going to go for Return on the Dragonair. Now, leaves 1 Pokemon left, which is Kingdra. We're not going to change it up. There's nothing really we could do. What we should have done here is maybe go for Headbutt, prevent her from going for another move. But ultimately, we're just going to go for another Return, knock it out, get a pretty easy win over Claire, and we're going to move right on and face our final rival battle of the game, right before the Elite Four, our 5th rival, and he's going to lead out with a Sneasel Pleasel. Sneasel Pleasel is not a very good Pokemon. Now, we have added Earthquake. This is why Hidden Power Ground is not the route we want to go, because eventually you're going to get a really nice ground move. And you'd either have 2 ground moves by having Hidden Power and Earthquake, or you're just gonna get rid of one, and now you just have Earthquake. So that didn't make sense. Now and then you don't have you have a move slot taken up. That's not gonna do anything. I'm sorry, we are obliterating our rivalry. And Earthquake knocks out the Kadabra, and Earthquake's gonna knock out the Magneton. We get a very easy win over our rival, and that's gonna lead us right into the Elite Four. Now that we're at the Pokemon League, we're preparing to go into the Elite Four. We're gonna save really quick, and then we'll go over our moves and our stats, and we'll dive right in. First thing to talk about is our moves. Our moves going into Elite Four are as follows: Return, Hidden Power, Headbutt, and Earthquake. Return, it's a very powerful physical move, 126 effective power with Pink Bow. Without Pink Bow, I think it's about like 114, so it's still a very powerful move, and coincides very well with our physical attack set. All of our moves coincide very well with our physical attack set. Hidden Power Rock is going to solve a lot of problems. It actually solves a problem pretty much for every trainer in the Elite Four except for Bruno. It solves a lot of problems. Headbutt is a move we need. It's pretty effective in the Elite Four, but it's more effective at the end of the game when we got to take on Red, where we got to get rid of some things that are chance. And then Earthquake obviously is a very powerful ground move. Now, if you did Hidden Power Ground, then you're going to eliminate Hidden Power Ground, and you're going to put Earthquake, then you don't have a good 3rd spot. Maybe Reversal would be a bad one. Eventually, we're going to get Mega Horn. I do want to talk about Megahorn for a minute, because Megahorn is not a move that we're actually going to use. Megahorn is it's a very powerful move, and I'm sure there's definitely circumstances where it's very useful. However, with this Pokemon, with this playthrough, it actually is not very useful at all, and you'll see that in not only in the Elite Four, where it's possible we can get it. I don't think we're too low level to get it. We're not going to get 8 levels between now and the Elite Four unless I use rare candies, but we're also not going to use it against Red, and you'll see why. Let's go ahead and dive into the stats, and then we'll dive into the playthrough. Stats are as follows. Look at the bottom left corner with the applied badges. Attack is 173, defense 120, special attack is 87, special defense is 128, and speed is 135. Those are the in-battle stats with the badges applied. Let's go and take on the first member Elite Four, which is Will. Will is a Psychic Specialist. He leads out with a Xatu. Now, with Hidden Power Ground, this battle goes a chance, because return is not always a one-shot, it's a range. Whereas with Hidden Power Rock, it's a one-shot on the first Xatu. Then he brings out his second Xatu, and it's going to be a knockout as well. So that has some very nice ranges whenever you have a better move that's more effective, and it's super effective against the Pokemon. We knock out Jinx in one go. Executor comes out, we're going to go for Return, and I hate it when they do this, but Executor goes for Reflect, so that makes Slowbro a little bit more difficult. Now, Slowbro is going to set up a couple things. He's going to go for Curse. He can also go for Amnesia here and set up his defense. So special defense, that'd be stupid. I think he's going for his physical attack, but Psychic does just about half damage, but we do get the knockout, do get the win over Will, and we're going to progress right on to Koga. Now, Koga, Hidden Power Rock is very effective against Koga. A lot of his Pokemon are weak to our moves. The only Pokemon that does not have a weakness to our moves is Fortress. Hidden Power Rock is a one-shot on the Ariados. Hidden Power Rock is a one-shot on the Venomoth. Very good. And that leaves out 2 Pokemon. Crobat, it's not a one-shot, but it does do a lot of power. What I probably should have done here is gone for Headbutt and maybe try to get a flinch so he doesn't go for, double team and up his evasiveness. But we do get the knockout with 2 hits nonetheless after he heals. And then we have 2 more Pokemon left. Fortress looks like it's going to be about 3-shot with Earthquake, get the knockout, get the win, or get the knockout. And then Muck's going to be a 1-shot with Earthquake, get the win over Koga. He's super easy, barely an inconvenience. And that leads us right into Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno very much. There's my first Kanto reference of this video. And now we're going to go ahead and take on Hitmontop. Hitmontop looks like it's going to be about a 2-shot. Go for Return. It's going to be a 2-shot. He's not going to go for Dig. I guess he knows that I have Earthquake, and if he goes for Dig, I can hit him with Earthquake. It's going to be a 1-shot. We 2-shot the Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan has a pretty good physical defense, so we don't get a 1-shot there. We do get a 1-shot on Hitmonlee, though. And then Machamp comes out. We're going to go for a turn on the Machamp. It's going to be a 2-shot Rock Slide. Doesn't do that much damage to us. Now we make a blunder here against Onix. Instead of going for Earthquake, we go for Headbutt. Not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. We're just going to go for Earthquake on the next turn, get the knockout, get the win. Bruno was pretty easy. And we're going to move right on to Karen. Now, Karen can be difficult. She has so many things that can go wrong with this. You can, confuse you right away. She can lower your accuracy. There's a lot of things don't go well. So what my hope was to go for Headbutt here, and Headbutt would maybe make it flinch, and then we can go for Return and finish this Pokemon off. However, we are confused, so we're hitting ourselves. The good news is Umbreon has no attacks that can really hit us and do a lot of damage because we are resisted to dark moves. And right here, we want to go for Headbutt on the Vileplume, because Vileplume can go for Stun Spore, and Paralyze us, so we get the knockout. Earthquake powers through the accuracy, and we knock out the Gengar. Very good. Murkrow comes out next. Now, you'd think this would be a very scary Pokemon because it's flying type, but it has no flying moves. All it has is Feint Attack and Quick Attack. So we're going to go ahead and go for Hidden Power Rock. It's a 1-shot, very good. Now, Houndoom has a Flame move, a Fire move, has Flamethrower. We just hit it one time, we knock it out, very good. So a lot of things there can go south, but we do power through, and we do persevere, and we move right on and take on Lance, the liar with the flyers, as my guy Squidgy would say. And he can be a problem if we did not have a Rock move. Return is not going to do enough damage. And hell, Hidden Power Rock doesn't even one-shot the Gyarados. However, Gyarados only goes for Rain Dance, which is going to be good against Charizard. Brings out Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl goes down to 1 Hidden Power Rock. Very good. That would not have been a one-shot if we just have Return. And then Charizard goes down to 1 Hidden Power Rock. That would not have been a one-shot if we have Return. And Hidden Power Ground wouldn't even hit that Pokemon. So we 2-shot the next Dragonite. We have the level 47 Dragonite come out. We 2-shot it as well. Hits us with a Hyper Beam. We tank it pretty well. We have 1 Pokemon left, which is the last level 47 Dragonite. He does paralyze us. It's not a big deal, as long as we can power through and hit. We'd had another turn anyway. Now we beat Danhausen to get our time locked into the Elite Four, and it's going to be 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 51 seconds. I'm very happy about this time. I did do another playthrough, and I'm going to show the results of that at the end whenever we beat Red. But I did do another playthrough with Hidden Power Ground just to see what would happen. Hidden Power Ground, because there's nothing that's going to help you. So I think we even used Rare Candies and got up to level 54 to get Megahorn. and there was nothing we have that solved the problem with Lance, other than going for Hidden Power Rock. Hidden Power Ground can hit any of his Pokemon. It's completely useless in that battle. And if you had, I mean, that's if I kept it, and usually you wouldn't keep Hidden Power Ground, you'd replace it with Earthquake if that's the case. So it really was a lot of problem. I think it took us another 20 minutes to get by the Elite Four. And now in this one, I think we're gonna have a better time in the second round, the optimized play. I think we're gonna have a better time. But one reset to this point is very good. But we're gonna go ahead and make my second reference. But I'm gonna see you guys in Kanto. I say in Kanto, but it sounds like in Kanto. I really should have a little mirror bell pop up in the bottom right corner, but I'm not going to do that. But I will see you guys in Kanto. We're going to take on 8 more gyms, blue and red. Now that we're in Kanto, we're going to take on all the gym leaders. The gym leaders are going to be very trivial, very obsolete, but look at this battle. We're going to go through Earthquake, and we're going to one-shot every one of his Pokemon. That's pretty much how most of the gym leader battle is going to be in Kanto. So instead of talking about those trivial, useless battles, we're going to go and talk about other things. First thing I want to talk about is this channel. Right now, I currently have 645 subscribers. I've added 16 in the last 28 days, and we're getting some pretty good traction. People are watching my videos. I'm getting a decent amount of views on all my videos, so I hope you are enjoying that. What we're doing right now is I'm playing through, obviously, with Crystal in order the Pokédex. I'm really enjoying that because I'm playing through a lot of Pokemon I've never used. I've actually used Heracross before. It's a very frustrating Pokemon to get, but when you get it, it's a very good part of a team. But I've never used, for example, the next Pokemon we're going to play through is Sneasel. Never used Sneasel before in my life. Never used Shuckle before. There's so many Pokemon I've never used. So I'm excited to be getting a chance to play through a lot of Generation 2 stuff. It was stupid. Like, for example, Mischievous, you can't get to Mount Silver. So what's the point of having Mischievous even in the game if you can't even get it before, 5 minutes before you beat the game? It doesn't make sense. So there's so many Pokemon like that, and there's so many things. That's why if you ever heard of there's another YouTuber out there called Smith Plays Pokemon, and he does a ROM hack where it's called Crystal Legacy, where he fixes a lot of those problems, makes those Pokemon more available earlier in the game. Something I recommend you go check out. But we're enjoying the Generation 2 content. I like playing through and then having an optimized playthrough where we jack the Pokemon up with a really good egg move or a really good event move and see how good this Pokemon can be. And I've really been enjoying those kind of playthroughs. So I hope you enjoy those too. Now in Generation 1, we have some things that we're doing, and we kind of got a little bit of discombobulation on Generation 1. So right now we're knee deep in the poison type challenge. We're playing through with all the poison types that are left that weren't part of other typings, and we're getting that done. But the other problem we have is I've been having an issue with my controller, so I need to do second round playthroughs of a lot of Pokemon in the rock type to get an official time locked in, and I've been having problems with my controller. I figured out what was wrong with my controller. It's not the controller that's the problem. The problem is my computer. My computer was bought right around just before COVID, right around COVID, I should say. And the problem with that is I think the Bluetooth driver is not very powerful, even though I'm using Bluetooth right now no, actually I'm not. I'm not using Bluetooth for this. It's a direct connected thing. It just has to be charged. But the controllers I feel are lagging because it's not a real time connection, I should say, because I borrowed a controller from my friend and it did the same exact thing. And his is brand spanking new. He bought a dual pair because he thought he could use that, but he can't use it when he's using Bluetooth and using Xbox streams or whatever it is where you play live from a server. So he lent it to me, and I know it's brand spanking new, and I know there's nothing wrong with it, and it doesn't work either. It has the same exact problem that the other one is. So it's not the controller, it's definitely the Bluetooth. So I'm just going to use a physical controller. I have one that's it's actually a one from a Switch. It's a Bowser controller. It's pretty cool looking, but it's actually kind of small. I prefer Xbox. That's the one I've had my whole life, so I prefer the feel of an Xbox controller. But I'll get by with the Bowser one. It's not a big deal until I can buy another Xbox connected controller. But we got one more gym leader, and then we're going to face blue. And right now that is Blaine. Blaine is going to be obliterated. Oh, I just want to finish that up. So yeah, we were playing through the poison types, and the next one to come out is Muck. We'll talk about that near the end of the video. And I'm trying to get the second round of playthroughs done with all the rock types. Plus, there's a bunch of Pokemon that deserve second rounds that I did way earlier in my challenge to figure out who the best of every type is, that I never got second round playthroughs done. And for good reason. It's not going to improve their times, but I do got to be fair to every Pokemon. Now we're going to face blue. Now, if you don't have Hidden Power Ground or Rock, this battle is difficult because you don't have a great move for Pidgeot. We do one-shot the Pidgeot, and we're going to move on and face Arcanine. Earthquake's going to one-shot. Nope, it's not going to one-shot the Earthquake. It's very close, though. Very close. So he restores himself, and we're going to go for Earthquake again. It was a range, so we just not quite within range of getting a one-shot. We're going to return on the Alakazam. It's a one-shot, very good. We have something for everyone, so we shouldn't have too many problems here with the rest of these. Go for Hidden Power Rock. Hyper Beam knocks us out. So we're going to change it up a little bit. I think we're going to go for, instead of holding the Pink Bow, we're going to hold the Hard Stone. It's going to make Hidden Power Rock more effective, which means Pidgeot is not going to be a 2-shot. It's going to be a 1-shot now. So very good. Knock out the Pidgeot. Next Pokemon to come out is Arcanine. We're going to go for Hidden Power on the Arcanine. Not a 1-shot. He's probably going to go for a full restore. Yep. Flamethrower did decent amount of damage. The other option here is we could go for the held item that, what is that held item called? Leftovers. And it could restore our health, but I think we're going to do just fine with this. We're going to Return on the Alakazam. Still a 1-shot, even though we don't have the pink bone. It's not as powerful. Go for Gyarados. Is this going to be a 1-shot on Gyarados? Nope, still about the same. He does not go for, I thought he was going to go for Hydro Pump there. That probably would have 1-shot us. But we knock out the Gyarados. And now we're going to go for Return on the Executor. He's going to take in Sunlight, so he's going to go for Solar Beam. We're going to knock him out before that happens. We have one Pokemon left, that's Rhydon. He really can't do that much damage to us. Rock Slide maybe is the best thing he could do, but we get the win over Blue. And that leads us right into our final battle of the game, which is going to be against Red. We're at level 60 right now, and we're actually going to get to level 71. We have 10 rare candies. We actually grinded on some wild Pokemon real quick, get to level 61, and get us all the way up to 71. And we're going to go for an Earthquake on the Pikachu. Pikachu's a 1-shot. He's not a problem in this battle at all. We move right on to the next Pokemon, which is going to be Venusaur. What we don't want Venusaur to do, we don't want Venusaur to set up the Sun, because if we don't, well, we're going to 1-shot the Charizard, so that's not a problem. But then Venusaur can just go for Solar Beam, which isn't too big of a deal. So Venusaur's not a problem. Charizard is going to be a 1-shot with Hidden Power Rock, because he is 4 times weak to rock moves. Now, this Pokemon is the problem, Espeon. You want to knock out Espeon before an Espeon goes for what she just did, which was Reflect. So now we're going to knock out the Espeon, but now we don't have anything that's going to do, we're not going to do a lot of damage to the Snorlax. And Snorlax is going to either paralyze us or he's going to knock us out. Okay, if we don't knock him out quick enough, he can also go for rest and restore all of his health, and then we get knocked out like we just did there. So that's something we got to fix there. We're going to go for Leftovers now. I think Hidden Power Rock will still do the same amount of damage to Charizard that it did, whether I have the Heartstone equipped or not. So Leftovers are going to replenish our health, and we're going to go for Headbutt, hoping to get a flinch on the Venusaur. Either way, he's going to get off a Solar Beam, so I'm not too concerned about that. But Return will knock it out. So the same outcome, but now we've recovered a little bit more health, and we recovered a little bit more health again, and we're going to 1-shot the Charizard. So now going into the Espeon, we're almost at full health. Yeah, we're 3 off of full health. And we want a Headbutt on the Espeon. We want the flinch. We don't get the flinch, but we still get the knockout, and we should have just gone for Return. Now we get hit by a very powerful Psychic, and we're down to below half health. And Snorlax is not going to take it easy on us. We still have that Reflect up, so we're going to take a loss here. Yep, we're going to take another loss. So there's our second reset, or I'm sorry, our third reset to Red. And now we're going to go ahead and face again. Earthquake will be a 1-shot on the Pikachu. We know what we got to do. We just got to get the luck. Just got to get the luck. Go for Headbutt on the Venusaur. It gets flinched. Very good. So now it's going to set up the Sun again, but now this time it doesn't attack us, so we have full health going into the Charizard, which wouldn't have mattered. Like I said, Leftovers, it replenished our health enough that we're pretty much full health after the Charizard anyway. So that wouldn't have mattered anyway. It just takes a little bit. It goes a little bit faster. Headbutt on the Espeon. We do not get the... I really want this to work, but Headbutt Psychic takes us down to below half health. Knock out the Espeon, and now Snorlax comes out. Headbutt on the Snorlax. We get the flinch. Maybe we can stall out the returns that we're dealing with right now. We just did. I'm sorry, the Reflect. We stalled out the Reflect, so now return one more time. We get the knockout over Snorlax. Very good. So that's going in a good direction. Now we just have return on the Blastoise. And it's going to be a 3-shot. We're going to Headbutt. We get the flinch. And do we get the last one? We do. We get knockout over Red. And this is what the difference is between having Hidden Power Rock and going Hidden Power Ground. When Hidden Power Ground, the playthrough results that we have were just atrocious. We have an hour and 29 minutes and 58 seconds when we do Hidden Power Rock on the left side. And if we didn't have Hidden Power Rock, it's an extra 20 minutes and an extra 22 resets going and trying to beat Red. And using Mega Horn and not using the strategy we did. The strategy on the left is much better to take on, our rival, or I'm sorry, Red, than going for Return, Earthquake, Mega Horn, and Headbutt. We had to put Headbutt in to actually make the battle doable. So that's what we had to do. And it took a lot of resets in the Elite Four. I think we took at least 10 resets to Lance, and we took another handful to Red. So there's definitely some utility when it comes to being smart and knowing what hidden power is the most effective is going to solve more of your problems. So that being said, let's go and look at the tier list. This Pokemon with just under an hour and 30 minutes, ends up landing right here behind Murkrow. Now, do I think this Pokemon's going to do better than Murkrow? Absolutely. I mean, we haven't done an optimized playthrough yet. I do think with a little bit of optimization, I hope to get this under an hour and 20 minutes. That's my goal. And get it right up there, around like Cool Fish and whatnot. Because I think this Pokemon's better than those Pokemon. But it's just really going to depend on how this Pokemon plays through. Like I said, there's not a lot of optimization. It's just about me optimizing my time. There's a lot of battles. And here's the thing about Generation 2. In Generation 1, you're in better control of doing better because you can actively skip battles. Some battles are mandatory. You can't skip them. They're going to be in your path regardless. But in Generation 2, there's a lot of spinners, where if the spinners just never turn towards you, you could have a lot more control about how fast you can play through. But in Generation 2, there's spinners, and you just can't do that. So you sometimes you're going to face trainers you didn't want to face, and that adds time. And incrementally over time, you add up time that you didn't want to add to a playthrough. So that's kind of the problem in Generation 2. But I do have a lot of high expectations for Heracross, and I think we're going to be able to get this at least into the next tier. But I want to get it into the sub 80 tier. I want to beat the Elite Four under an hour, and I think that's going to be a very big milestone for us to do. What's coming up next on the channel? Obviously, next week we have a optimized playthrough of Heracross, and then we're going to be playing through with Sneasel after that. But Friday, we're going to be having a playthrough of Muck in Generation 1. This is part of my challenge to figure the best Poison-type Pokemon is in Generation 1. Now, obviously, a couple Poison types of playthrough. We obviously, Nidoking and Nidoqueen play through the ground types, so they're not participating. This is just what the last Poison types that are left in Generation 1. So, Muck, and then we have two more after Muck. We have, who is it? It's Arbok and Golbat are the last two we have to play through. And I still have to do my second round of playthroughs with the rock types. Hopefully this weekend I can get that done. I have a weekend where my wife and kids are out of town, so I have a lot of time to do this. But let me just think in the comment section down below. This is JD. This is Powerhouses Wrath. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, make sure you comment down below, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Like I said, we got good momentum. 645 subscribers. Let's get to 650 by the end of this week. All right? Let me just think in the comment section down below. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys next time.